Hi, folks. Welcome to the Creative Nomad, presented by TrueAwesomeLife.com. I'm your host, JP Adkins, and I created this podcast because I want to tell the stories of the radicals, the ones who are out there making the world a better, more beautiful place. The amazing authors, artists, musicians, thought leaders, coaches, and yes, nomads who are out there living their true awesome lives and want to help others do the same. Are you ready to live your true awesome life? Go to TrueAwesomeLife.com and start your journey today. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Creative Nomad. Today, I'm here with the amazing Kellina Powell. And Kellina, why don't you introduce yourself?
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm super excited to be here. I'm so many things, honestly, everybody. Like, it's like for popcorn. I am an author. I am international speaker. I am, what we call it, mental health coach. And yeah, that's pretty much what I do for now. I still have more things coming up, but just break that down. As well, I'm an advocate for the deaf community, so I teach people how to be inclusive for the deaf community in terms of putting closed caption on social media, because a lot of people don't know how to do that. So I really come around and put a band-aid between both communities, the deaf and the hearing community. So that's what I do.
That's so awesome. And yeah, it's one of the things that I've been learning more and more about is how to caption things and why to caption things. And not only for the deaf community, but because a lot of times people are actually watching videos on silent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would you listen to a video on silent? I don't know, but but they're on the there was a joke that 80% of all TikTok videos are watched on the toilet.
Yeah.
So, there's that. So, Kalina, what got you interested in, I mean, really got you motivated to move to help the community?
It really got me motivated because I never had any role model that looked like me when I was growing up. Everybody I knew was all hearing, and it was very hard for me to find out who I really truly was, especially being deaf and not having a friend that looked like me until I got a little bit older. That's when I actually started having friends that looked like me. But I kind of wanted an adult that I can look up to, more importantly. And, one day I was working at a big park. I called Canada's Wonderland, and a little boy approached me. My hair was in a ponytail. My hearing aid was showing. And he came to me and said, Miss. And I'm like, oh, are you lost? And he's like, no, like, I have hearing aid too. And I'm like, oh my God. And, his mom came and approached me, and she was like, oh my God, like, you're the first deaf person that my son's seen around the hearing community. I'm always encouraging him and telling him that nothing is wrong with them. And so having him seeing you, it definitely will boost his confidence more and definitely will, encourage him more. And so I can relate to that mom because I was in that shoe. So that's why I choose to go into the community as well to like really kind of put the band-aid on it.
Yeah, it's difficult, I think, because someone that's in the hearing community, we don't understand what you go through, and those that are of us that are sensitive almost want to overcompensate for
That's
that.
it.
You know, so what are some ways that we can really be more inclusive and really more um, open?
I would say be more open minded, not closed minded. A lot of time, I know a lot of time people tend to be like, oh, yeah, I know that, but they're not open minded about it and not being consistent. And that's the problem with a lot of time with the Hindu community. Everybody understands the accommodation and accessibility, but they're not consistent. So I always tell people be more consistent had you ever been. And secondly, I would say that, be able to help is really just be careful how you represent yourself. You just never know who's going through the issues of disabilities.
Mhm.
Another thing I would say is definitely just be really more mindful how you educate, especially yourself and others, because education can be represented in the wrong way. So always doing your research, no matter what the situation is. You always should be always learning.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that it is important. And for you being as young as you are, you know, and really wanting to be that advocate for the community and for, uh, is just commendable, you know. So, what are some ways that you're out in the community? I mean, I know obviously you're out in the community, just being yourself and living your life, but how are some ways that you actively help with the community?
So basically what I do, being able to be a speaker in different ways. So not just like podcasts, but also to like with schools and students, talking to them and as well as educating teachers down the road. As well, I have been, I'm a mental health coach. So I had clients that came to me and said they like certain people content. For example, this one client liked the girl content and she was not acceptable. There was no closed caption. And that's where I came in the picture and actually messaged the content creator through Clubhouse, actually, because I work on Clubhouse. And I met her through there and I actually messaged her about it. And she's like, oh my God, Kellina, I didn't even think about it. And thank you. And funny little that I knew, probably 2 days after, she changed her content, made it more acceptable. So that's where I come in. So that was really helpful.
That is awesome. And is it, one of the things that I find is that depending on the program you use to record, it's really sometimes challenging to close caption. What are some ways to make, is there programs out there that make it easier? Is there, what's out there to make it that easier?
There's so many ways now, the way the technology are improving, especially closed caption app. So there's a lot of app for closed caption, and there's like 3 or 4 I know that does it for you automatically. I know some people are like, oh, I don't want to do word for word. I'm like,
Mhm.
no, there's actually an app where you just put your video in and it just does it for you, and all does it for you.
That's awesome. So does that work both on your phone and on your computer, or just more on the computer side, or on the phone, or one or the other, I should say?
I would say it really depends on, for the iPhone. I know there's not that there's not a lot of closed caption on the iPhone.
Mhm.
But if you're going on YouTube and you're watching videos like that, yes, there is. But itself, no, not for iPhone. But I know for computers there are ways that you can do closed caption.
Yeah. One of the things that I do is that I use Instagram to record my shorts, and they one of the stickers is closed captioning, so it automatically does it for me. Um, I just have to be careful that I don't put anything silent before it, because normally I start everything with the logo basically,
Right.
and so I have to wait till it's closed caption, and then I can go back and put on the logo at the beginning. So just a little FYI, I had so many issues with it for a while. It wasn't working, and then it would take my first couple words, it would change my audio to move it forward because there
Right.
was no audio in the underneath the logo. So it would change that to a weird like thing, and so
Right.
it looked like I was in an old kung fu movie, and my lips would be moving, but my words were not consistent. Um, but that's the secret to that. So that's one
Okay.
way, easy way to, and you can download it, and I share it everywhere.
Right.
So it's a very easy way to close caption if you're doing shorts, longer content. Um, I have YouTube used to do it automatically, and I've the last couple times I've tried that, it has not.
Been
So
catching up, right?
yeah, I don't know why.
Me either. I try to figure that out. And I'm like, why is YouTube not, improving my stuff? But who
Yeah,
knows?
you know, and that's one of the things, is that one of the things that you do is you talk to companies. Like, have you tried talking to YouTube and saying, hey, why are we not closed captioning? Because that was one of the things that they did automatically. I'm not, and their AI was designed to do.
Yeah.
So why are we not? why all of a sudden did it stop working? Are they trying to do it for premium people? Are they, it's one of the things that the first things I do is I go, are they trying to make it a premium thing?
Mhm.
Um, the software that I have actually, that I use to video edit, they give me a certain amount of time. It's like 80 minutes a month or something like that,
Okay.
uh, that they'll close caption for you. But it's only 80 minutes, and then you have to add more if you go over that.
Okay.
So um, that's another option. Check in your editing software. They might do it automatically for you also. Um, just thinking as a content creator, this, like for instance, right now, we're not being closed. Facebook will automatically close caption once it's recorded and done, but it won't do it live. And
Okay.
YouTube isn't doing it automatically anymore. So this will probably not be closed captioned. And so, as we're talking about how being more accessible, I'm sitting here thinking this show itself will not be accessible.
Yeah.
um, so what I'm going to do is I will take this live. I'll take this recording and I'll re-upload it when
Okay,
we're,
definitely.
or go through and get it and manually do it so on YouTube so that it is accessible. Because I don't think about it. It's things
Yeah.
that, as somebody myself, I'm in the hearing community, so I don't think about, hey, there are people that actually cannot hear this. And
Yeah.
on the other side of that, and I think to myself, well, they probably have an app for that. They have an app that will read it for them.
Oh.
And it just doesn't exist. Huh? So, what's the best way for you? Like, what is it that you really work on with people to help them be more inclusive?
I'm more into like really trying to educate them in a way of just be more open minded in terms of not just the closed caption, but also with the words. I know a lot of people may use the inappropriate word to describe someone who have a disability because the terms are always changing as the years goes on. So a lot of people are not aware of that. So I would teach them like, hey, like you can't use this word. For example, a lot of people did not realize that by saying hearing impaired, for us, it's disrespectful. A lot of people don't know that, and people
Yeah.
ask me like, "How come?" And I said, "Well, hearing impaired for the deaf can mean hearing and dumb, or you're dumb in hearing." So for some people, they feel that's how they are being identified, and they don't like the word hearing impaired. So they prefer to say the word either deaf or hard of hearing.
Okay.
So that's where I come across and like really educational.
Wow. Yeah, I would have never. That's something that I would have never thought of. Is because growing up for me, it was hearing impaired. You couldn't call people deaf.
Exactly, exactly. I know, like I was comfortable using that word too. And I'm like, yeah, I'm hearing impaired. But then when I got older and I realized I hang out with different people and they said, no, don't call us that. And they came to me and they corrected me and I said, oh, I did not know that. And they're like, yeah, it means you're dumb. You're deaf and dumb, basically. But I had no idea.
Wow, that's crazy. That's
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
So, Kalina, let me know, how can people get in touch with you?
Everybody can get in touch with me based on my Instagram, which is Step Queen Boss. Or I have my own website where you can book a coaching session, or if you want to find out how to reach out to me through email, because I know a lot of them, people don't feel comfortable reaching out to me on social media. You can find me on my website, which is KalinaEmpowerment.com.
I love it. I love it. Kalina, thank you so much for coming on and educating us and educating me. I will definitely be more conscientious of that going forward and seeing ways that I can actually be more inclusive in my programming. So thank you.
Yay! You're welcome.
All right, folks. And as you know, I want you guys to go to trueawesomelife.com and pick up this amazing guide of how to live your true awesome life now, no matter what the circumstances. So check that out. And I love you all. I will see you guys all next week.
thanks for listening to the Creative Nomad Show. If you have any questions about this or any other episode, go to creativenomadshow.com. There's also a link at the bottom. If you are a radical and would like to be a guest, you can apply to be on the show there. Thanks again, and know that you are loved. Awesome Life, we look for the world changers who want to live in creativity, authenticity, and profitability whenever, wherever. So check out trueawesomelife.com and let's get started.